The crazy chef is here again. Hi guys, you might have seen my video unboxing the Panasonic Breadmaker type ZB2512. Well, in this video we're going to actually make a loaf of bread. So enjoy and hope you can reproduce it if you've got a bread maker. If you want details of the bread maker, is in the link below the video. Right, crazy chef, I'm just going to show you the Panasonic bread maker. I'm going to make a white flour raisin bread. I'll do other recipes as we go, but this is a white flour raisin bread. Right, I'll open the top. I've taken the container out where you put the flour and the other bits and pieces. I'll give you the menu in a second. Now when you close it, when you put all the bits and pieces in there, close it down. Now in the top here, you've got a compartment for the yeast. Now unlike some bread makers where you put the yeast in with a mix before you start, it starts to knead, then it will fire the yeast in three separate occasions, three separate pulses. Now also, because we're using raisins, or a filler if you like, there's also a container here where you put the added extras. You put that in there, and at the right time during the process, it will then fire the raisins into the mixture. So, and on the front you've got the menu to choose what you want. You've got sizes medium, large and extra large. You've got crust, light, medium and dark. Now with some menus you won't get some of these options. You'll just have a medium or a medium size and a dark crust or something like that. It depends on the menu you set, which also depends on the contents. You've got a list of the contents here, the programs. For example, whole wheat bread would be a menu 5, a raisin bread, like I'm going to do now, would be menu 3, and there'll be a basic one which I also use, basic white, very good, as a menu 1. There's a lot of there's about 33 different combinations you could do, and also the menu sheet is multilingual, so this is in English, but if you want it in Polish, you just go to the menu and stick a Polish one on. You want it French, you stick a French one on, which is a very good product extra for this device. Now I'm going to measure all the stuff out and I'll come back and put it in and show you how it's done. Ready to rock and roll. It's a bit cramped here, let me just move the camera in a little bit. Okay, the container. I've got 400 grams of flour. Now this is white wheat flour. In the UK it may be called strong bread flour. This is Polish wheat flour I'm using, and it's called grade, it's a grade 650. The menu calls for 550, but I'm using 650, it doesn't make a lot of difference. A lot of gluten in it. Right, put that in there. Now I'm going to put I think that's wrong. Okay, just a second. I've got 1.5 teaspoons of salt. Now you get a device with the Panasonic bread maker which has got teaspoons one end, tablespoons the other end. So I'm putting 1.5. Otherwise the bread won't taste that good if you don't have salt in it. 1.5. I mean, I try to get as accurate as I can. I play around a little bit. 1.5 teaspoonful of salt. I'm now putting in a tablespoonful of sugar, ordinary white sugar. Now sugar is the energy for the yeast to rise. That's why you use sugar. You can't taste it in the bread, it's just it's an energy food for the yeast. I'm putting that in. Okay. Even it out a bit. Okay, I'm now putting in 20 grams of butter, and I've actually chopped it up, but you don't really have to. 20 grams of butter. I'm now, so we've got, this is for a medium raisin bread loaf, 400 grams of 550, 560 grade or strong wheat flour, white, 1.5 teaspoons full of salt, 1 tablespoon of sugar, 20 grams of butter. Now I'm putting it in at this stage in the, okay, goes in there like that. You could probably see it. I'm now going to put 280 millilitres of water in. Now you get these plastic containers anyway, and it's got graduation, so you've got all the bits and pieces. I'm now going to put 280 millilitres of water in. Now I'm going to shut the top. I'm going to put 1.5 teaspoons full of yeast. Now this is, well, it's Polish, it's drożdża, but it's a universal instant yeast. In the UK you probably sound like Alison. And I'm just going to put, so basically it doesn't need rising, it's already activated if you like. Now I'm going to put 1, you're only supposed to put 1 in the recipe, but I always like just a little bit extra. I'm now going to put, and it gets, in the tray I'm going to put 80 grams of raisins. You mustn't overfill this thing, it's just level 80 grams worth of raisins. It's very simple, I mean it's all automatic, I level that out. Everything's automatic. Much better than some of the other bread makers where you have to open up. The only it's not a criticism, with anything, there's a couple of things I don't like this compared with my Breville. You can't see through the top, you can't see the bread actually rising, but you don't probably need to. And the other thing is, as far as I can say, you can't add extra time to have an extra crust. You've just got light, medium and dark. So I'm going to stick this on now. It's menu number 3, plug it in, and when it's finished, always stop the program when it's finished and unplug it and take the bread out, otherwise it'll get condensation. I'll plug it in the wall. And I'm going to put menu number 3. It's set for, it's menu number 3 because I did it before, set for medium, so it's a medium loaf. And, okay, wait a minute. Make sure it's number 3. 1, 3. A medium size. And I can only get a light or medium crust, so I've set it for a medium crust, and it's set, it automatically is set for 4 hours. I mean, making bread's not, don't think it's a quick art, it's not. So basically I've got, it's a medium loaf, so on this side the size is set to medium, the crust is medium, I can't control that really, and the timing is 4 hours. If you wanted it to start it so you get up in the morning for your breakfast, you've got it as a timer, which gives you a delay, but that's another story. So basically medium raisin bread, the raisins are in, the yeast are in, the other materials are in the main basket, 4 hours, and I'm going to press start. It's now going to rest, it'll rest for a while, then it goes to a knead position, and then it goes to a rise, and that's then it goes to bake and end. Now, the rises will be for several hours. When it gets to the bake, it's probably be less than an hour, so don't think you're wasting a lot of electricity, because most of the time it's resting, kneading, rising. It only bakes probably, I don't know, hour or less than an hour, depending on the program. So I'll come back and show you when I take it out. So I'll stop the camera, but this is what it basically looks like. This is what I did earlier. Let's Y go to the wide. Zooming out. So one I did earlier. And it's very light, very fluffy, very airy, and it tastes very good. So I'll come back, start the video again. This has actually got cranberries in it because I didn't have any raisins. I'll start the video again when we're ready to take the thing out. That'll be about 3:59. Okay, see you later. Okay, we're at the last minute of the Panasonic bread maker. We've got a raisin loaf, a medium-sized raisin loaf with a medium dark crust. It's now 1 minute left on the bake cycle, so it's been through rest, it's been through knead, it's been through rise, and now it's on bake, and it's been going for about 3 hours, I'm afraid, 3.5 hours. I'm afraid this is the length of time you need to make a loaf of bread. If you wanted to make a wholemeal loaf of bread, it would be 5 hours. So there we go. So here we come. It's going to stop any minute. When it stops, when it beeps to say it's finished, you must stop it and just pull the plug out. Here we go. It's finished. End. And now I'm going to stop it. And I'm going to pull it out and pull the plug out because there's no main switch on it. Pull the plug out. Now, you have to take the bread out straight away because otherwise you get condensation and it may mess it up. So I'm opening it quick. And I'll tell you one thing, it's red. Look, you can see the trap door. The trap door, look at that trap door, and that's where the raisins came out. Okay, this is going to be very hot. Got an oven glove. There we go. Yeah, it is. Try to hold it without burn. Look, this is very swear. This is very hot. But there's your loaf. I'm gonna leave the bread maker open to cool it down. But look, you can see on the top lid. That is the trap door. That's a trap door there which releases the currents, and that there is the trap door, if you like, for the yeast, which releases the yeast. So now I'm going to leave that open, and I'm now going to tip the bread out, and I'll let you watch. Right, this is a very difficult procedure. Okay. Let me get the camera around to the bread. Just going to go over to I'm going to stick it on a wire rack to cool it. You let the air get around it. You just need it on a wire rack, cooling rack. Okay. Now I'm here. You put. I don't know if you can see me or not. I'm not doing it to see me. There's the thing. And now I'm going to. Okay, let's get it out. It's ever so hot, so it'll burn you if you don't protect it. Right. There we go. So I've cocked it up a bit. There we go. So. There we go. I'm going to put it on the rack. It's very hot. There we are. This is a raisin bread. It's a bit, yeah. It's got to cool down. You can't open it. You can't use it at the moment. Now I'm just going to put some muslin over the top of it, just cool it down, just to protect it from any muck. There we are. There's it. So that's taken over 3 hours. I'm just going to let all the component parts of the bread maker cool down. But you mustn't, it's all, the bread maker is there. And it's just cooling down now. You mustn't do one straight away because it's too hot. You've got to let it cool down before you make another loaf. You'll actually come up with an error code, U50 I think, which means it's overheated. So make sure it's cool. And it's cold or coldish before you start again. So there we are. I'll probably leave it about half hour, an hour before I started again if I wanted to do it again. You'd probably only do about 2 loaves in a day, but there we are. Okay, crazy chef over and out.